You're lying in bed, lights off, room quiet, ceiling staring back at you like it's waiting for you to say something. And in your head, you're rehearsing it again. The speech, the text, the one final message that's finally going to make her understand what she lost. You've written it 100 times, different versions, different angles, the angry one, the vulnerable one, the cold one, the I hope you're happy one, the I just want closure one. And every version ends the same way, with you imagining her reading it, her face dropping, her finally getting it, her finally feeling what you felt. Then you put your phone down, and the silence rushes back in. Why do I still care? Why am I still trying to make her understand? Why does it feel like I'm screaming into a room she already walked out of? Why does she get to move on and I'm still sitting here drafting messages she'll never feel the weight of? You're not pathetic, bro. You're not weak. You're not obsessing. Most guys feel exactly this, and nobody ever explains what's actually broken about the strategy you're using. Here's the truth nobody told you. You will never become her regret with your words. Words are the cheapest currency in an avoidance economy. The man who becomes her regret never sends the message. He becomes the message. His silence speaks louder than any paragraph he could write, and his absence carries more weight than any explanation he could give. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly how to become the avoidant's biggest regret without saying a single word. The 7 silent shifts that rewire how she sees you in her head long after you've stopped showing up in her life. Let's get into it. Most guys believe that becoming someone's regret is about making them feel guilty, so they perform pain. They post sad lyrics. They get drunk and text. They go cold and then warm and then cold again, hoping she notices the pattern. They build entire campaigns of subtle, look what you did energy and wait for her to crack. But here's the real truth. You don't become an avoidance regret by making her feel guilty. You become her regret by becoming someone her nervous system can't replace. Let that sit for a second. Guilt is an emotion. Emotions pass. Guilt fades in a week, sometimes a weekend, sometimes a single conversation with a friend who tells her he was too much anyway. Guilt has an expiration date, and avoidants are masters at letting it expire. But irreplaceability? That's not an emotion. That's a measurement. That's a comparison. Her brain runs unconsciously every time she meets someone new, every time she opens a dating app, every time she sits across from another guy and notices what's missing. And every time her brain runs that measurement and finds the new guy comes up short, your ghost gets louder in her head. And here's where it gets interesting. Avoidants don't process loss in real time. Their nervous system is built to suppress emotional weight in the moment so they can stay in control. So when you walk away, she feels almost nothing at first, sometimes even relief, sometimes pride, sometimes, see, I knew I'd be fine. But weeks pass, months pass, and then one random Tuesday in the middle of a normal day, something cracks. A song, a smell, a guy's laugh that sounds almost like yours, but worse, and the dam she built around you finally breaks. That's not guilt, man. That's regret. And it only happens when one condition is met. You stopped performing pain and started becoming a man she can't find a copy of anywhere. Now let me show you the 7 silent shifts that make her regret you for years, without ever sending a single word. 1. The complete deletion of explanation. Most guys think their final move is the explanation, the closure conversation, the one last message that lays everything out clearly so she finally understands. They draft it, they edit it, they send it, and they wait for the reaction that never lands the way they imagined. Here's the part nobody talks about. Explanation is just chase in a more dignified outfit. Every time you explain yourself to an avoidant, you're telling her nervous system, I still need you to see me a certain way. I still need your understanding. I still need something from you. And the second she feels that need, the regret she was about to feel evaporates, because now you've handed her the power back without even realizing it. Not a cold goodbye, not a dramatic exit, not a final speech, but the quiet, grounded refusal to perform one more round of, let me make you understand. Wrong move. I just want you to know, before I go, everything I felt for you was real, and I hope one day you realize what you had. Right move, nothing. No explanation, no final paragraph, no closure ceremony. You just stop appearing in her notifications. You let your absence be the entire essay. And when you do that, her brain instantly says, wait, that's it? He didn't even try to explain? That's the first crack, because for the first time, she's not the one withholding. You are. and avoidants only respect what they can't extract. 2. The life upgrade she never gets to comment on. Most guys make the mistake of upgrading their life loudly. They post the gym progress. They post the new outfit. They post the trip. They post the new friends. And every post has one invisible caption: "Look what you're missing." She sees it. She knows exactly what you're doing, and so does her ego, which means the upgrade stops being intimidating and starts being entertaining. This is the one most guys completely miss. The upgrade that breaks an avoidant isn't the one she sees. It's the one she hears about secondhand, from a mutual friend, from a sibling, from an Instagram post you weren't even in, but she recognized the location, from someone casually mentioning, "Yeah, he's been doing great actually." Not a performance for her benefit, not a thirsty highlight reel, not a revenge body montage, but a genuine, quiet, undocumented transformation that she has to find out about by accident. Wrong move: posting a shirtless gym selfie 3 weeks after the breakup with a cryptic caption. Right move: get into the best shape of your life and post nothing. Travel and post nothing. Build the business and post nothing. Let her discover it through the world, not through her feed. And when she finds out, her gut whispers, "Wait, he's actually doing really well without me? Without even trying to show me?" That's the shift that turns curiosity into ache. Because now your growth feels real, not performed. And avoidants can dismiss performance. They cannot dismiss reality. 3. The emotional flatline. When her name comes up. Most guys, even months later, can't hide it. Someone mentions her name and their entire face changes. Their tone shifts. They get tight. They get fake casual. They get too quick to say, "Oh yeah, I'm over it." They overcorrect and everyone in the room can feel it. And here's the brutal truth. That information always finds its way back to her. Through a friend, through a coworker, through someone who saw the look on your face when her name came up at the party. Here's what changes everything. The day her name lands in a conversation and you feel absolutely nothing. The day your face stays the same, your voice stays the same, your energy doesn't even register a ripple. That's the day you start becoming her ghost in the most powerful way possible. Not suppressed reaction, not forced indifference, not "I'm so over her" performative coldness, but a real grounded internal flatline that no acting could ever fake. Wrong move. Her? Yeah, she's whatever. I don't even think about her. Why did she say something? What did she say? Right move. A blank calm. Oh yeah? Hope she's good. And then you move on to literally anything else. No follow-up, no fishing, no tension. And when that energy travels back to her, and it always does, her brain runs the worst sentence an avoidant can hear about themselves. He's not even bothered. I don't live in his head anymore. That's emotional caffeine for the part of her ego that needed to believe you were still suffering. And the moment that belief dies, the regret begins. 4. The refusal to confirm or deny months will pass, and one day she'll do it. She'll reach out, maybe directly, maybe through a friend, maybe through a vague Instagram story aimed clearly at you. She'll fish for information. She'll want to know if you're seeing someone, if you still think about her, if she's still in there somewhere. Most guys, the second they get that signal, light up. They respond. They engage. They give her exactly what she came fishing for: a reaction, a confirmation, a denial, a piece of data she can use to recalibrate her sense of power over you. And here's what changes everything. The man who becomes her regret doesn't confirm, doesn't deny, doesn't engage the fishing expedition at all. He treats her attempts to extract emotional information like background noise, polite, brief, unbothered, and gone again before she can hook anything. Not bitter silence, not dramatic ignoring, not a power play, but the natural, grounded boundary of a man whose inner world is no longer available for her to mine. Wrong move. I think about you sometimes too. It's hard, but I'm doing okay. Are you? Right move. A short, neutral, hope you're good. Or sometimes just no response at all, not as punishment, as a natural consequence of a man whose attention is finally too valuable to be borrowed. And her gut instantly says, "I can't get a read on him anymore. He's not giving me anything." That's the moment her regret deepens, because she's just realized she no longer has access to the emotional information she used to take for granted. 5. The quiet building of a life that doesn't include her. Most guys, even after the breakup, keep building their life with her in mind. They imagine her seeing the new apartment. They imagine her at the new job's celebration dinner. They imagine her reaction to the new car, the new body, the new circle of friends. Every milestone has an invisible audience of one, her. She feels it. Even from far away, she feels it. Because energy doesn't lie, and an audience-built life carries a different frequency than a self-built one. Here's the part nobody talks about. The day you start building a life that genuinely doesn't include her, even in your imagination, even as a hypothetical witness, that's the day your life starts radiating a different kind of weight. The kind avoidants are subconsciously trained to detect. Real autonomy, real self-direction, real, I am no longer organizing my growth around being seen by you. Not a performance of independence, not a fake I don't care energy, not a curated solo highlight reel, but the genuine, calm, grounded existence of a man whose life is finally his own again. Wrong move. Hitting a milestone and immediately wondering, will she hear about this? Right move. Hitting milestones and forgetting she exists in the moment of celebration. Letting your friends, your goals, your wins, your routines become the center of your day. Letting her become a footnote in a life she used to headline. And when she eventually catches a glimpse of that life, through a mutual friend, through a chance encounter, through a story she wasn't supposed to see, her brain runs the sentence that haunts every avoidant who let a good man walk. I'm not in his story anymore. I'm not even in the margins. That's the shift that turns regret into a permanent residence in her chest. 6. The upgraded presence that speaks for itself. Most guys think the way to make her regret is to show her they changed. So they tell people, they drop hints, they orchestrate accidental run-ins, they make sure to be at the places she'll be, looking different, sounding different, performing different. It never lands, because the performance kills the proof. Here's what changes everything. When an avoidant runs into a version of you that has genuinely internally upgraded, not the haircut, not the outfit, not the new gym body, but the actual energy underneath all of it, her nervous system clocks it instantly. The way you stand, the way you make eye contact, the way you don't fidget, the way your laugh is unforced, the way silence doesn't make you anxious, the way you're not scanning the room for her reaction, not new clothes, not a new haircut, not a new social media aesthetic, but a completely new internal posture that her body recognizes before her mind can name it. Wrong move. Running into her at a coffee shop and going into I'm thriving mode, talking too loud, laughing too hard, performing a version of yourself you think she'll regret losing. Right move. Running into her, holding calm, grounded eye contact for exactly the right amount of time, giving a polite, warm, but completely unrushed, hey, good to see you, and then genuinely going back to whatever you were doing, not as theater, but because whatever you were doing is actually more important than her presence in the room. And her brain instantly whispers, who is this version of him? Where did this come from? Why does he look settled? In a way he never looked when he was with me? That's the moment her regret stops being intellectual and becomes physical, a real body-level ache she can't reason away. 7. The final silence that never gets broken. This is the one, the shift that locks regret in permanently. Most guys, no matter how strong they start, eventually break. 6 months in, a year in, 2 years in, they have a weak night, a drunk night, a nostalgic night, and they reach out just to check in, just to see how she's doing, just to wish her happy birthday, because it would be weird not to. And in that single message, every ounce of regret she'd been building about losing you evaporates, because now she knows the truth. You didn't actually let go. You were just on a longer leash. Here's what changes everything. The man who becomes her permanent regret is the man whose silence never breaks. Not after a month, not after a year, not after he sees her engagement photos, not after he hears she's going through a hard time, not after a mutual friend tries to casually mention she's been asking about him. Not stubborn silence, not bitter silence, not I'm proving a point silence, but the natural, grounded, fully integrated silence of a man whose story has genuinely moved on to a chapter she's no longer a character in. Wrong move. 3 years later, drunk on a Friday night, sending, hey, just thinking about you. Hope life's been good. Right move. 3 years later, sober on a Friday night, looking at your phone, seeing her name in some old screenshot, and feeling nothing but mild curiosity that she ever lived rent-free in your head at all. And then closing the app and going to sleep And somewhere out there, in some quiet moment of her own, her brain runs the sentence every avoidant eventually faces about the man who never broke the silence. He's really not coming back, is he? He's really, actually, fully gone. That's not revenge, bro. That's the natural consequence of a grounded man finally believing that his peace was never up for renegotiation. And in that moment, your silence stops being absence. It becomes legacy. So listen to me carefully, man. This isn't about her. It was never really about her. This is about who you become when you stop organizing your healing, your growth, your masculinity, your future around someone who never fully chose you in the first place. You don't become her regret by writing the perfect message. You become her regret by becoming a man whose life is so genuinely full, so quietly powerful, so unshakably grounded that she spends years wondering how she ever held something this real and didn't know what it was while she had it. These aren't tactics. This isn't a strategy. This is just what a grounded man naturally does when he finally stops needing the last word, because his life has become the last word. You don't have to prove anything to her. You don't have to send the message. You don't have to make her see. She'll see. They always do, eventually. But by then, you'll be too far into the life you built without her to even care. So stop drafting the speech. Become the silence she can never finish a sentence over. The man who knows he's enough never needs the last word, because his absence already wrote the ending. And if this hit something deep in you tonight, if you finally felt seen in a way nobody's been able to articulate for you before, do yourself one favor: stay, because the next video I'm dropping is the one that picks up exactly where this one ends. What actually happens inside an avoidant's mind 6 months after losing a grounded man. The 5 stages of regret she'll never tell you about, and the exact moment she realizes she made a mistake she can't undo. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. You're not chasing anymore, bro. You're not begging to be remembered. You're becoming the man she'll never forget without ever saying a word.